No way.
Corgi.
Dude, he's so long.
Wow,
Tails,
that's
dude.
long.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
Bro, you got a nice dog. I bet he's cute as fuck. I bet he's super cuddly.
Oh, I bet he is. He looks cozy.
Well, that's the cold open right there.
Corgi. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 68. We're getting there. Swallow that whole.
Oh, okay. I was like, do I swallow this?
Swallow that whole. Yeah. I don't know why they can't just make a universal lactase pill. Some of them you swallow, some of them you chew, and you have to find out the hard way which is which. It doesn't really matter if you swallow the chewable ones. Well, they don't work as fast, but if you chew the swallowable ones, it's fucking disgusting.
I would assume.
It's horrible.
I mean, even the other ones, like the chewable ones, are awful.
Right. Yeah, they're chalky, but that's like chalky mixed with like bitter aspirin medicine.
It's like eating a sweet tart before they like put the candy in it.
Yeah.
They're like, here's the blank sweet tart. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's episode 68, and we've got some pizza because tomorrow, 3.14, is Pi Day. You know, for all our fellow virgins out there who might be celebrating.
For all our fellow virgins. How does the 0.14? Like, do people separate dates by periods?
Some people.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's just a formatting thing. Sometimes it's a dash, sometimes it's a slash, sometimes it's a comma, sometimes it's a dot.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
314.
314, baby.
So we got some pizza pie. For
Pizza
those of you
pie.
who are not from Italy or New York. Pizza pie. And we're going to eat it today in front of you. So here we have something from Ameci Pizzeria.
And we're going to aggressively eat it at you.
Yeah, we're splitting a good old pie because we didn't want to get personal ones, and it just feels more authentic and more, bro-y to share a pizza. Quite honestly.
We're two great friends just sharing a pie.
Just share.
Get
this.
What? Get it. Look at this service. Look at this service.
Look at this service. We also have garlic knots.
Oh, fuck. Those are huge, dude.
Oh, I almost dropped that.
How have we almost dropped so many things today?
I don't know. They slap, and they're full of cheese. That's so much cheese.
All the cheese is out of it.
So
God
much
damn
cheese.
it.
All right, so this is we're
That's
gonna
for
give
sure
it a
the
shot.
thumbnail.
Yeah, the website looks like it was truly made by just like some guy who learned HTML once when it first came out.
It's like HTML3. They just like never updated it.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna make my own website, and it's never been updated, and it really gives it a certain like vibe. Like there's a certain vibe to restaurants that don't have like updated looks or updated branding, and it's really all about the food. And so I really have high hopes. Even though it's kind of cold, I have high hopes. Not bad.
Oh yeah, that fucks. That fucks pretty well. Is that how you say that? Like fucks pretty well?
That fucks well and good.
Or good. Is it good or well?
It fucks hard. I never say it fucks good.
See, I always say I say it fucks hard, but then I'm like, does pizza truly like fuck hard? I feel like pizza is like a gentle lover,
This pizza absolutely makes love. This pizza makes love so tenderly right now.
This pizza's the dude at the bar that's like, hey, I want to take you home and make sweet, passionate love to you. And the girl's like, all right.
This time, the girl gave him a chance, and here we are.
And it succeeds, dude.
It's like not bad, truly. For a chain I've never heard of, and it being cold, I enjoy this.
Wow. It's got like a nice sweetness to it, which I feel like a lot of like pizzas kind of skimp on. Where like, dude, your fucking pizza
that
sauce.
balance really slaps.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's too salty, sometimes there's not enough salt, sometimes it's too sweet, sometimes there's not enough sweet. I feel like this hits it right in the middle.
Yeah, their tomato blend is very good.
Yeah, very nice. We love a supreme topping, even though, as we discussed earlier, fucking olives are a bottom tier pizza
olives
topping.
Olives are a bottom tier pizza topping, no matter what. Imagine the psychopath that gets just olives on pizza.
Could you imagine having to prepare
free medium one topping pizza from Domino's,
and it's just olives?
It's just olives.
Absolute unhinged behavior.
Yeah, no, thank you. But this is great. I would recommend it. Ameci. Ameci.
Ameci.
Ameci. A-M-E-C.
Avicii.
Ameci. Very good. And we're back, and next episode is 69, and we need to figure out if we're going to do something cool for that.
Yeah.
Because that would be fucking awesome. And we're back, and it's a beautiful Sunday. It's spring. The time change totally threw me for a fucking loop.
Same thing happened to me. Somebody so when Megan and I are working, I sit at my desk, and then there's like this weird built-in desk in our apartment for some fucking reason. Yeah, don't know why, but she's like since converted that into her desk. So she works there, and she like has meetings and stuff. And like someone in one of her meetings was like, "Oh well, like don't forget to like set your clocks forward this weekend." And I was like, "What?"
Truly.
Yeah.
You're telling me we get a shorter weekend than usual? That's so fucked.
Gross, dude.
It's honestly illegal.
Why do they do it on a weekend too? Like, why not like a Tuesday?
Right? Speed through the week.
Yeah. Exactly.
And do it at like 2 p.m. instead of 2 a.m.
It's also, we're the only country that does daylight savings.
It's weird as fuck.
Fucking
we don't
Ben
need it
Franklin
anymore.
ass.
I know.
Okay.
Also, not bad. I'm surprised that these hold up cold. Like normally we factor in a little bit of, just leeway in our point system because it would be better warm, obviously. So we don't try to dock it too much, but truly I think this still holds the flavor profile like pretty solidly as far as most of the foods go for it being cold. So,
and I mean, cold pizza fucks at any time. Mm-hmm. So the fact that this is like a fresh cold pizza kind of fucks.
You're right.
I love it. What a weird thing to like.
A fresh cold pizza. I do like cold pizza. I don't like a lot of other cold foods. I mean, as far as if it used to be warm, I won't eat it cold. But pizza,
I don't like previously warm foods. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it if it's made cold and meant to be cold. I enjoy it. But if it was supposed to be hot and now it's cold, pizza's the only thing that I'll be like, I can't picture eating a cold burger. Mm-mm. That sounds horrible.
No.
Ugh, no thanks.
Dude, you open up that Ziploc bag at 1 a.m, pull out a nice slice of pizza, just suck it down in the kitchen.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Refrigerator door is still open.
Just wide open, just bathing soft light.
You're in your underwear. Yeah. You're cold as shit.
Oh my god!
And you're just like, man, this is everything that I wanted.
That is such a good, core feeling that I think everyone should experience.
Yeah. And you can enjoy pizza gluten free, without meat, without cheese.
Facts.
You can have vegan pizza.
Facts,
bro. It's the universal za, man.
It's the universal comfort food, I'd say. So, this is good. This is great pizza.
Dude, big fan.
So, I don't know if you keep up with Noel Miller's YouTube postings.
I like how you say this like it's some weird thing that you don't think somebody at the party is privy to, and you're dancing around it.
So I don't know if you've heard of this thing called cryptocurrency.
This thing called Monet.
So he has this game show thing that he does called Find That Link, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it's he takes 3 random people, sometimes it's friends, sometimes influencers, sometimes TikTokers, whatever. And then he has this whole game show, and he sits them down in a classroom setting, and he's a teacher, and there's a board, and it's he'll play a TikTok or a viral internet sound, and they have to find where it originally came from and send the link to a group chat or whatever and be the first one, and there's a bunch of variations on it or whatever. So the most recent episode that came out a couple days ago, I was watching it, and I looked at one of the girls that was on it. She looked so familiar, and I was like, I have seen, I know who this is. Her name didn't sound familiar, but I know who, I've seen this girl, right?
That face.
So I'm going down this weird, internet rabbit hole. I'm, searching her name. She's a TikToker, but I'm I don't recognize her from TikTok. So then I'm, scrolling down her TikTok page, and I see, she posts some TikToks in her house, and I'm like, hold up. Those are my countertops.
How many moderately famous people live in this fucking building?
So many people.
That's so weird.
So many internet people. Literally every single person I meet is an influencer of some sort.
That's so weird, dude.
It's so weird. She lives right down the hall, and then I'm like, oh my god, that's where I've seen her. I recognize her. Her car is 3 cars away from mine in the parking lot.
Dude,
so weird.
If we're categorizing success based off of physical location, you're on the same level as these people.
Literally. I'm actually above her, I think.
She's on the 3rd floor. I'm on the 4th floor. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's so weird, dude. Everyone I meet, I just like have stopped assuming that they're normal people because they all, I find out one way or another that they'll come across my page in some way. I'm like, oh my God, you literally live 2 doors down from me. The girl who lives right next door to me, I found her YouTube yesterday. And of course she's a YouTuber.
How many subs?
Like 400,000 or something.
Oh my
like
God.
That. I know.
Like a legitimate YouTuber.
I know, like a legitimate YouTuber. Yeah.
I bet it's like not even interesting. Like it's just shitty vlogs or something.
Not interesting. I will tell you that.
I figured. That's like I had like this thought when I was coming up here because I was like, man, you can really tell the type of people that live in Nick's building because right out front was a dual motor Tesla and then three Mercedes AMGs, all with like wraps. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, on this fucking place.
Yeah, this is influencer central, my guy.
North Hollywood, man. It's cheap and you can make it look better.
It's cheap and it looks fancy.
Yeah.
You know, like, or they can charge, you know, this apartment here would cost way less than this apartment in like, you know, Beverly Hills or like Hollywood Hills or like whatever. Any of the other like more.
But it like still
LA
looks
places.
like a fucking influencer apartment.
Exactly. And truly it is an influencer apartment. It's so funny. Now every new person I run into, I'm like gonna try to seek them out on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Or just straight out
just look
ask
them up.
Like straight out like,
yeah, what's your app?
Now I could just go down to, I'll be like, hey, what? I can either ask them what their name is or just be more creepy about it and cryptic and like, what apartment do you live in? And then go downstairs and search them on the intercom.
Dude, you could just be like the dad at the park being like, oh, what are you kids doing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's your handle? Your username? Yeah, what's that? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No, I'll give you a follow. Yeah, I'll help you out.
You know, cute little internet. You know,
I have like
journey.
1.2 million subscribers and shit, and you're just like, oh yeah, cool.
Cool. Now you have 1.20001 followers. Million followers.
Pepper. Dude, I love green peppers on pizza until they start falling off the pizza, and then I get mad at them. And then I wish that I didn't get green peppers.
Yeah,
and then I eat them all off the plate separately, and then I'm like,
Like a
fuck, I
dog.
love green peppers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
Just scoop them up in there. Dude, that's so funny. This like almost every single time that I come here, I run into somebody in like the elevator and they've got like a dog with them or something and they're super friendly. And I'm like, now that I'm like, oh, they don't think it's weird that I'm like walking in here with like camera equipment and shit because they're just like, oh yeah, like that's what we do
That's
too.
what we do.
I'm like, shit, okay,
We're
that makes
going
sense.
to, he's probably just filming a thing. And he is filming a thing. But yeah, everyone
So strange.
here. It's weird how like one specific building that doesn't even advertise itself in any way as like a content creator haven. I think it would.
They all just flock to this type of a vibe.
Right.
Like
I think
white
so.
and gray. And they're just like, all right, that's the perfect aesthetic for my YouTube channel and my Instagram.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. What the fuck? Bro, it was a perfectly encapsulated sphere.
I'm dying.
It had its own ecosystem and everything. You just killed an entire civilization.
Aw. Wow. Holy shit, look at the grussy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, get in there. Pour some fucking marinara up in
Garlic not OC.
there. The garlic nutussie. The garlic nutussie,
The garlic natussi. Oh,
Oh, yeah, fill it up.
brother.
It's like a C. Oh, yeah.
All right, hold up.
Let's watch the gush. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. How was the garlic natussie?
Wow.
Garlic natussie.
Garlic natussi was great. All right, I have something to tell you guys. Brian, I have something to tell you. And you guys have something to tell you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I took my first edible.
Hey, let's go, my boy. You finally made it. How was the dark side?
Let me weave you a yarn.
Dude, how do you always have like the most normal things happen to you in the most extraordinary circumstances?
I don't think this is an extraordinary thing. I would say this is probably a pretty common first edible experience.
Good.
But I've just never experienced anything like it, and so it was truly like, it was like, this is a big deal for me. In case those of you who don't know, this is a big deal for me. All right,
It's a really big deal for our boy Nicholas.
So I was like, You know what? Absolutely fuck it.
You just went full send and you were just
all
right.
I went full send. Well, this company sends Emma edibles every month.
What?
Like because of like Prism. They send Prism edibles every month.
No way,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You guys have branded edibles?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
That's sick as
Yeah,
hell.
it's sick as fuck. And, so she always gets them. So I was like, maybe they could send them to me once, just for once.
What did Emma say?
She's like, yeah, okay, sure.
Oh, just very normal about it? Hell yeah.
Excuse me. So, there's like a little pack of gummies.
Okay. Good start.
And, they're like peach flavored or whatever. They
Never
look
go
like
wrong
candy.
with peach flavored.
They've got like sugar on the outside, it looks like. You can see the crystals of sugar. And they're not even like big doses. I think 10 milligrams per, which I don't...
Yep, that's pretty normal.
Seems pretty normal. So I'm like, I'm not going to take a whole one. That's insane. It's late. I'm like...
Especially as your first one. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to take... I was like, should I take a quarter? I was like, no, I'll take half. So I cut it in half.
5 milligrams is a good start.
It seems like a good start. And it's late. It may be like 8. Okay, not really that late, but like late for me. I'm like on the verge of going to bed, and I'm like,
Dude,
just kind of relax.
I love that you're like my oldest man friend. You're just like such an old dude
An
in
old
like
fucking guy
in just like a 26-year-old man's body.
That's how it goes. So, wow, they really loaded the second half of this pizza up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 8 p.m. I'm like, just kind of want to wind down and like sleep. So I pop open them fucking edibles, right? And I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna take half. So I like go in there, I'm like kind of give it this taste test. I like lick it a little bit, and I'm just like, I just gotta go for it. I eat it. It's very peachy flavored. I can like kind of taste the weed smell in my mouth, if that makes sense. Like I can taste the way that smells. I'm like, okay, but it wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't bad. And I was like, this is great. Wonderful. Like maybe 30 minutes go by and I'm like, I don't really know like if this is like what I'm supposed to feel. I don't really know I don't know what signs to look for. So I'm like, maybe I'll just give it a little longer. And then an hour goes by.
Sounds about right.
And then I was like watching something on TV or on Netflix or something, and I had the subtitles on as one does because I don't know how I ever watch shit without subtitles.
Complete quick aside, I
Yeah.
had this whole conversation with Megan where like we turned on subtitles and we noticed that they weren't on like another show that we were watching. We were like, what the fuck? So we turned them back on and I was like, dude, I used to hate subtitles
Same.
as a kid.
Same.
I hated when they were on. I was like, it takes me out of the experience. Now I'm just like, bro, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
I was
Turn
like, I
those
can't
fuckers
even
on.
hear what's going on.
I know. Truly, I can't.
Let me read.
I can't watch shit without subtitles. So the subtitles were on. And I'm like kind of like drifting off a little bit, going to sleep. And then I like wake up. Like I wasn't like asleep, but I was kind of like, just kind of like drifting off. And I must have like closed my eyes for a sec, and then I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? Why do they only have subtitles on for the people of color? That's so fucked up. Because it was like a talking head of like some Indian guy talking, and I was like, wow, they really only put the subtitles for them? And then I realized like a minute after, I was like, wait, they've been on the whole time. What am I doing? I'm like, then I'm like, okay, I chalked it up to me just being tired, right? I'm like, damn, that's really weird. I don't like not remembering things. I'm going to go to bed. So I turn everything off. I lay down, and my heart starts beating. And I'm like, oh no. I don't know.
What?
I'm like, it's like, I'm like, it didn't like start like pumping, but I was like, I don't know. I'm like, oh my God, like, am I okay? Like, am I high? Was that like a sign of me being high? Like, do I remember shit? Like, am I going to be okay? And I like, my mind starts like reeling with all these thoughts, right? And then I'm like, oh my God, what if I like stay like this for a really long time? Like, I didn't know what was happening. And then, so I'm like, oh my God, something's happening. I couldn't fall asleep. I felt really on edge. And then the like lights from the cars passing by, like dancing on the ceiling, I looked at those shits and I started busting up laughing. I thought that was the funniest fucking thing. I was like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't stop laughing. Truly, for like 2 minutes, they're going by and I'm like, what the fuck? This is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Out loud laughing. And then maybe a couple minutes into that, I go to like, I don't know, just like wipe my face or something. Soaked.
What?
Tears are streaming down my face. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening? And I just started sobbing. Flat out sobbing. I went from laughing to sobbing like this. I was like, why am I crying? I don't know. I don't like this. And I started freaking out. I'm like crying. I was like heavy, like tears streaming down my fucking face. And then I'm like, okay, I got to compose myself. Take some fucking deep breaths. Chill out a little bit. I'm like, okay, I got this. It's fine. And then I started laughing again at something, and immediately, maybe 3 chuckles in, I switched to crying again.
Dude, what the
I was like, like fucking sobbing. I'm like, I don't like it. I'm high. I don't like this. I don't like it. And I must have fallen asleep because then I woke up and it was morning.
Bro. That is.
I don't know if I'll ever do that again.
The most coming of age movie first high experience. That's so funny.
Oh man, I just was
on 5 milligrams, no less. Bro, that's so weird.
I know.
That's such an interesting.
I feel like it was mostly mental.
Yeah.
Because it was only 5 milligrams. But I think it was mostly me freaking out and being like, oh my God, like, is this what it's like? Like, am I remembering shit? I don't want to not remember shit. Am I going to be like, I truly thought I was going to stay like that forever.
Wild.
I was like, I'm not going to remember anything for the rest of my life.
It's going to be 50 first dates from here on out.
Yeah.
Like, every day you have to watch a VHS of what happened for the last 26 years of your life.
It was so weird. I'm not discounting it and saying I'll never do it again, but I think I would need to be around people and like, I don't know if I would. I don't know. I'm not in a rush to do it again.
The mindset that you go into being high with very much dictates the type of high you're going to have. Like, especially like, God, this is such a fucking stoner shit that I'm talking about now. But like, if you go into a high like in kind of like a good mood and stuff like that, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. You're gonna have a blast, or you're just gonna immediately fall asleep. Which one comes first? But like, if you go into it in anything else, it's just gonna get worse. That's like the thing. So it's like, it for me at least, like whenever I am like in a bad mood or something, it either makes me incredibly sleepy or like brings out paranoia.
Oh no.
And then otherwise, in a great time, all the time, always. Megan and I smoke like like a full blunt almost every night now.
Really? Fuck yeah.
It's like basically like we finish work. She has like 3 rolling trays in like every room at our house. It's so funny. But she'll like finish and she'll be like, all right. And then I'll just be like sitting on my computer, like finishing something up or like playing a game or something. I'll turn around and she's just rolling. And I'm like, let's go.
Damn.
But dude, it's just, that's hilarious. Fucking 5 milligrams send you into the astral plane.
Yeah, truly, I was not having a good time. But
damn, dude, that sucks.
But now I'm not Weenie Hunt Jr. anymore, you know?
Hey, look at you.
I wear that badge of honor. Yeah, I've had a half a peach ring before, and it happened to be laced with THC.
I had 5 milligrams out of a edible by myself once. It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
And now I don't know what to do with the rest of the pack, but who knows? I'll keep them for a rainy day.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, it was.
Dude, one of my favorite things is like picking like an insane Adult Swim show, getting really high and just watching it. It's so much fun.
Wow.
Like, have you seen Smiling Friends?
No. What the fuck is that?
So it's a new show on Adult Swim that's fucking insane. Like, it's legitimately crazy. Because it's like this company that like sends people to make people smile. Like, that's their whole thing is like, they are your smiling friends. But everything always goes just super south. So, like, one of them was, like, this dude was, like, trying to kill himself. So, like, the whole episode, he's, like, walking around with them, like, holding a gun to his head.
Oh, my... Is it animated?
Yeah. So it's animated and just fucking weird, very strange. Everything's terrifying, and like they show up to this house at the end that has like a deedle infestation, which are like these little pink things that are like humans, and they like lived in the walls and they broke through, and they started like basically murdering each other and like were trying to kill the people that own the house. And the dude like came in and like shot one of them. And then he smiled because he like killed something, and then he opens a business that's like a
deedle extermination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like he's super excited and everything like that. And they're like, "See, we succeeded." And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
That sounds trippy as fuck. Sober, I can't even imagine.
And everything's so fast. Oh like so, like there's a character named Mr. Frog that's like a Mr. Rogers kind of thing, and he gets like basically canceled for like doing something crazy or whatever. And there's like one thing where they're trying to basically bring his career back up and like make him happy again. And he's like at a book signing and he like starts strangling this dude like with one arm, but it's like in one frame he goes from sitting there to strangling them. So it's like super fast.
Dude, that's
like
insane.
Shit like that. It's so crazy. It's just so much shit, dude.
Wow.
Oh god, but that like
that doesn't make you feel weird. Like that's like you're like I'm enjoying myself right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I'm like this.
Yeah.
I'm like this is insane in like a normal scenario.
Yeah.
But my brain is like operating in this weird like unicorn zone that it's just like yeah, all right.
All right, yeah, I can rock with this.
It's a great time.
It's a Deedle exterminator.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
There's like a shot in it where one of them is like holding a like. It like opened a paper clip and like sharpened the end of it, and it's like holding it up at the dude with the gun,
my
and it's
God.
like, oh, and it like charges at him, and that's the one that he kills.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's so crazy. It's such a weird fucking show.
And it's called what?
Smiling Friends.
Smiling Friends.
And
okay.
it's like genuinely one of my favorite shows.
Really? Okay.
Where
can you watch it?
We watched it on HBO Max because HBO owns Cartoon Network.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Or at least they have like the rights to it or something like that. But yeah, so like everything that's on Cartoon Network is on HBO Max.
Oh, fuck yeah. Good to know. I didn't know that.
So like they have like everything that runs on it gets on that as well.
The more I like learn about just companies in general, the more I just find out that like one or two people own everything.
Yep.
It's fucking terrifying.
Yep.
It's so scary.
Yep. Like Disney owns like over 50% of media at this point.
Wow, really?
Like with them buying Fox.
Oh, right.
The only reason they bought like a portion of it was because of like antitrust things being like, if you buy Fox, like we have to legally break you up. So they were like, all right, this is the amount that we can buy.
Right up to the edge.
Exactly.
Nah, that's fucked up.
It's crazy.
What the hell?
And that was like this whole thing with like this stuff in Florida is like, of course they're gonna funnel money into the dudes that keep their property taxes low.
Of course.
Like, of course that's what they would do. Why would they not? That's all of their money is made in Disney World and Disneyland. That's it.
Yo, that's so wild.
Fucking weird, man.
What a trip, dude. Did you take your nose ring out?
Like a year ago.
Yeah, I was. Well, I
Like a
I know it
long
wasn't
time
recent.
ago.
I know it wasn't recent, but
Yeah.
like
Well, so I had it, and like the guy was like, okay, cool, like do like the cleaning regimen stuff like that, and I kept it clean and everything, and then it like it got like infected or something.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, I'm just not gonna do this. So I just like took it back out, kept it clean, did everything, and it did not go away basically until it had like closed.
wow.
It was wild.
That's
and
crazy.
so I've just like always had problems like with like the skin of my nose that I'm like, fuck, I'm just not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I want it so bad. I miss it. It looks so good.
Yeah, I was, doing what any rational millennial does when they have a breakup and it's drastically changed your appearance. I was thinking about getting a nose piercing.
Dude.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard there's no middle ground. I either
Yep.
hear, oh my God, it was so easy and it healed so quick, or like, oh my God, I had so many issues with it healing and it was painful and it bled and it was crusty for like 3 months.
Yeah. That was pretty much what I had.
That was what you had. Yeah.
Which is funny because like Megan has like
two nose piercings, right?
2 nose piercings, 4 ear piercings, and a couple others. And that's like everything for her was super easy. Like she has like her septum pierced too. Like she got the septum pierced and I got the nostril pierced the same day.
Nice.
Like at the same place. And like hers healed perfectly fine. Everything was cool. No issues.
No issues.
And it's like fucking
That's
oily
weird.
ass nose
I
skin,
do have a
dude.
very oily nose.
That's
what
my
I'm worried
problem.
about. Yeah.
It's my problem. If I ever professionally go on camera, they're gonna have to fucking powder
Just
that
really-
shit. Just really just soak that shit up.
Just really
Scrape
give
it
to
off.
you.
Yeah. don't give me that.
Scrape it off?
Yeah, you powder it and then you scrape it.
Oh, you scrape
Yeah,
it?
so it like soaks up. No, I'm making that up, but like that's what I would assume like you would need to do.
okay.
You know,
Okay.
like a pancake kind of thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just really just get under there.
get
and
under there.
flip it. Yeah.
Ew. Yeah, okay. Maybe I won't then. I have a really oily nose. Or maybe I'll up
Here's
for
the thing.
septum.
It could be totally fine.
I know, and that's the annoying part is I've heard of both things. I've heard like from people who said it was really good. They're like, it was really good. And I was like, oh, great. But it could be the opposite for you. And for people who it was really bad for, they're like, it was really bad. But it could be really good for you. So I'm like, oh, fucking, I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, and like mine wasn't like really bad. It was just like there was like almost like a cyst that had like
keloid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, and it was weird too because like I would clean it and stuff like that, and like it would get smaller.
Yeah.
Super tiny, wouldn't even be visible, and then like a week later it would be back full blown. It was super weird. So I was like, I'm just not. I don't think it's in the cards for me. So I just let it go.
It took almost over a full year for this cartilage one to like fully heal, like, and not have a keloid and not have whatever. Like truly for a year after I got it pierced. Does a bump and then it would go small and then it would come back and it would get small again. Weird, now it's finally gone. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Bodies are weird.
Super weird
with how they fucking heal and shit.
Yeah,
we'll see.
They're
maybe
like,
I'll do
man,
that.
this little piece of metal ain't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
What's this?
I don't like it. Get it out of your nose. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get a tattoo. Maybe I'll dye my hair. I don't know. You know, there's
the two things that you do regularly.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly.
So it's like, all right,
exactly. So I just kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit and get a little piece of metal in my face. What did I have written down? I knew I had something. Oh,
that was just the segue.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with
funny.
anything. It had nothing to do with anything. I joined a flag football league.
What? All right.
Yeah.
Keep going. Tennis, flag football.
That's about it. That's all I really wanted to say. I played flag football when I was younger, and I fucking loved it. My parents wouldn't let me play tackle, and I'm glad they didn't. Also, I was puny. I don't know who the fuck would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to tackle anyone. But
be the punter.
Yeah, exactly. I could do that. I can run, but I don't want to get tackled. So you know, it's like a So flag football was the best option, and it's funny because it started a while ago, and the thought occurred to me a while ago. I was at a picnic, and a friend of mine he's like, I brought Cards Against Humanity, and I brought a flag football set. And I was like, what the fuck? Those are the two most random things.
Who shows up to a party with that?
I know. He's like, well, I was at Target, and they had like a flag football set. And I was like, oh, great. So we played flag football, and it was like so fun. It was so fun. I don't remember like the last time I had that much fun fucking running around outside and doing shit. So I was like, maybe I should join a flag football league. Lo and behold, they have adult flag football leagues.
Fuck yeah.
And I joined an adult flag football league.
Hell yeah. Have you like done anything with it yet? Or
No.
you just like your name's on a roster?
My name's in a roster.
Tight.
And I'm getting warmed up for the season.
Hell yeah.
I don't really know how it's gonna go. Like,
have they sent you your custom flags and shit yet?
Not yet. I'm hoping so. I'm
How dare
hoping
they.
soon. I don't really know how it works. Like, is there like, it's not like tryouts because it's like, you know, like a rec league. So but I'm assuming there has to be some sort of practice so they can determine who plays what position.
Right. That makes sense.
So I don't really know how that's going to work.
Or it's just fucking chaos.
Yeah, right.
It's one or the other. You're either going to go into it and they're going to be like, all right, everybody just stand on this line and then run that way.
Yeah.
It's going to be one or the
I'll
other.
pass it to you if you're open.
Or they've got fucking plays written up.
Yeah.
They've got like hand signals and shit. One or the other.
I remember it was so serious when I was younger. We did like pee-wee. It wasn't even pee-wee flag football. I was like 12. I was like full on like, you know, a tween. And it was organized through the Parks and Rec department. And every team, I don't know how they got away with this. I actually don't think it was done legally. But
An illegal flag football ring?
Well, instead of like just being like the red team, the blue team, the whatever, we were fully named like the Eagles, the Jets, the Browns, and we had the Browns jerseys and the Jets jerseys that we wore. And I'm like, I don't think you're allowed to do
That's
this.
funny, dude.
But we were literally like actual NFL teams.
Nobody sent any cease and desist orders.
We didn't
You
get
were
any
just good
cease
to
and
go.
desist for 12-year-old rec league flag football in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
They're probably like, yeah, it's really not like hurting our bottom line, so whatever.
Yeah.
Let the kids have fun.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's funny, dude.
But it was really funny because it was all kinds of the differences between the coaches was so vast because some of them were just like someone's dad who's just like stepping in to fill a position, and some of them were like, I was a fucking college coach and
Jesus.
now I'm coaching you for some reason.
You tiny children.
Yeah.
I could crush you.
So
with my
I remember
thumb.
the first 2 years I had a really chill coach. It was great. I mean, they still took it really seriously.
Because he
Like,
was just like someone's dad.
yeah, I
Tight.
think he was just someone's dad, or maybe like, you know, he might have been like a soccer coach or something. Like he had like coaching experience, but he was like taking it seriously, but not to the point where he's like grabbing little kids and being like, "Why the fuck aren't you catching a ball?" You know?
Pulls a Bob Knight and just hits him.
Yeah, exactly. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. We took it. You know, we had like little plays. I was a quarterback, believe it or not.
Look at you!
Yeah, I know.
Fucking stud.
I was a quarterback, and I had like a little wrist thing with all of our plays on it. It was so sick, dude. It was so fun. I remember the huddles or whatever. That shit was dope. But then the third year I did it, my coach was a hard ass, dude.
Damn.
I was 12 maybe at that time, 13, and he was like, it was just like a complete dynamic shift. He was yelling and screaming, and like he would.
If
like,
you 11-year-olds do not win this game, I will bury you in a cooler in my backyard.
Like he would get pissed, and he would like bench people. Like you don't bench people in a fucking rec
They're
league.
11.
I know. He would be like, if you didn't like catch something or whatever, he would straight up bench you. I got benched so often because like I wouldn't complete a pass or I would whatever, and he was like,
which is not totally on you.
There's give and take. You know, it's a team sport, but he would bench me, and I was benched for like a good amount of time, and I fucking hated it. I was like, why is he doing this? And so I told my mom and whatever, and she was like, I was like, I really want to quit. And just like, write him an email or whatever, or like, can you call him or something? She's like, no, if you're gonna quit, you have to call him up and tell him yourself. So I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Damn, what a mom thing, dude.
I'm like,
what a great mom thing.
Yeah, that's a great mom thing, and I, shouts to her for doing that. But man, I was fucking pissed. I did not want to do that. So I'm like, I mustered up all the courage I could. I went for like an additional 3-4 days after that because I was like, I can't muster up the courage to call this guy. And then I think on like a Sunday or something, I give him a call. And he answers. He's like, "Hello." Immediately, I start bawling. I'm like, "Hi, coach. It's Nicholas Ortega.
Just soft little Nick.
Yeah,
just doing his best."
And I was like, "I can't come to practice anymore. I'm so sorry. I need to quit. Whatever." And he was like, "What?" And I like couldn't take it, so I hung up the phone. He calls back.
You hung up.
I hung up.
This dude's gonna eat your soul through the fucking phone, dude.
I said what I needed to say, and I was like, okay, bye. And I hung up. And he called back, and he was like, no, you need to keep playing, see it through, whatever. Like, come on, is it more time you want on the field? I'll give you more time on the field. I'm like, no, I just can't do it. I'm so
when you can only speak in like when you're inhaling.
Dude, I was fully blubbering. It was so embarrassing.
It was like when you were high.
Yeah, it was like that.
You just reverted to 11-year-old.
I reverted to my, former self quitting my flag football team.
Bro, that's so funny. That's like a great direction.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there with your actor and you're like, all right, so imagine that you have to quit your 11-year-old flag football team, all right? Get yourself in that mindset, right? Like you loved playing it, but your coach really just shit all over it, made you hate playing the game. But you're 11, right?
Like so you don't have the skills necessary to really form your thoughts.
Yeah, and you also like the moment that authority kind of gets to you, you're like, oh no, authority. Just sink into that,
Channel that energy. Damn, whenever I need to be like sad, that's what I'm gonna think of. That's like
so
such a
funny,
powerful.
That's so funny
thought. But yeah, so I decided to disregard that season of flag football and just think about the other two, and I'm like, I liked that.
Hell yeah!
So I joined the flag football team.
No, what an interesting arc.
Yeah.
Of the thought process for that. That's wild.
It was I don't know how I arrived at that conclusion, or when I arrived at that conclusion, because it wasn't immediately after playing flag football. It might have been after. I might have had some kind of like, subconscious epiphany when I ate that edible, but
that's what unlocked it. Like when you woke up that next morning, you're like, I have to join a flag football league.
I mean, dude, call Parks and Rec.
The only thing that I actually remember about like flag football was like playing it in like middle school gym. Yeah. And the only thing I remember about it beyond that is the texture of the flag. Mm-hmm. That like weird like plastic rubbery feeling.
It's so weird.
Weird, dude.
Yeah.
So weird. Just some petroleum put on some toilet paper and they're like, here you go.
Ooh, that's exactly what it feels like.
That's exactly what it is.
Did you guys have the flag? I don't know if you remember. Were they like Velcro or were they the kinds that like pop into those like plastic sockets?
So ours were like, it was a whole belt, and it was like three of the flags, either yellow or red. Don't know why those were the colors, but it was yellow or red, and it was like a belt. So if you grabbed any of the flags and pulled it, the belt would like quick release and pull the whole thing off. So like you would do that, and then you'd have to do like that fucking like walk of shame of like walking back and picking your belt up and putting it back on. It was so sad.
That's hilarious.
Every time it would happen, like my internal monologue was just like, "You're a worthless piece of shit. Like how could you fucking let this happen?"
Come on,
walking in traffic.
That's so funny.
I was 11.
Having those dark thoughts about yourself, damn.
And that's why we pay for therapists, kids.
Failure. What is wrong with me? I started therapy last week, actually.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm making all these life changes.
Dude, look at you. Just truly moving up in the world. Flag football, therapy, weed. Dude.
Maybe a nose piercing. Damn. Things are looking up.
This is like what you were supposed to do when you were like 16. You just waited 10 years.
I know. Guys,
I'm a late bloomer in all of the ways that don't matter.
Exactly. Nah, it feels good. It's really interesting to talk about yourself for that long and like evoke all these emotions that you kind of like push down, like naturally, or at least me, I tend to push things down and not talk about them. So it's been interesting. It's been helpful. I mean, I've gone to one, so it was helpful. And
you got time.
Yeah,
you got some time.
Yeah.
It's weird though. Like the moment that you sit down and you're just like, all right. So this is why I got mad at the Trader Joe's pizza aisle yesterday. And then they're like, okay, yep, all right. So what? Tell me about what it was like going to middle school. And then they're like, whoa.
Just completely.
And then you start making the connection and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's
they're like,
so
damn,
wild.
you're right, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I don't like the pizza aisle at Trader Joe's because that one time in middle school that kid stole my fucking rectangular pizza off of my tray and then gave it to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's all stemming from there. That's why
funny.
pizzas piss me off, like frozen pizza.
I'm really excited for those epiphanies because the first session was just like, what's the deal, kind of blah, blah, blah. So I'm really excited to like unlocking that, like making that connection because that's what I want. I want the answers and I don't have them. I'm like, why the fuck do I feel this way? Why can't I do this? You
just want the neurons to kiss.
I want them to, just.
Yep.
And then I feel like I'll be on my way to being truly better.
Yeah, getting better. Let me see it. Our trumpet instructor in marching band used to always do that. Like he would make us do something until we got it, and then the moment we would get it, he'd be like, "Yeah, getting better," and he would just leave. He would just walk away. It was so funny.
Yeah, getting better.
That dude was so cool. He would always wear like a Maple Leafs jersey.
Hell yeah.
He had like the little soul patch thing. He's cool as hell.
Dude, middle school band teachers.
This was high school.
This was high school.
Yeah.
High school, just band teachers in general are so cool.
They're either here's the thing though. They're either insufferable wieners or cool as shit.
Yeah, there's really no in
at
between.
our high school, we had
you had both
sides of it all the time, dude.
I remember when I played trumpet in eighth grade. Yeah, I played it like 7th and 8th grade or something like that, and I almost did it in high school, but then I got braces, and I was like, I can't continue to play trumpet.
Dude.
I probably could have pushed through it. People did it.
That's what I did. I literally had braces 3 times in high school.
Yeah.
So like every time it would happen, dude. This is bringing up some shit. Let's go.
Let's go.
I remember. So first off, I dated my band director's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Just to preface that,
Interesting.
just to throw that in there because I think that had some bearing on some things, but I'm not sure. But in our band, I was always
high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was always very good at like the trumpet, at playing instruments. I was always very good at it. I just didn't fucking put any time into it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like I would audition for things and get it because I was good at it.
Yeah.
But like I could have been that much better.
That's how it goes with people who are like kind of naturally good at things though. They just like do enough.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I don't need to. I'm already good. I don't need to whatever.
Yeah. And that was exactly how I felt because I was just like, well, I just like the people that I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
So like I'm just here to fuck around and have a good time.
Hell yeah.
I'm good enough to like, not get yelled at.
Why
for
would I
things.
make more work for myself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember I got braces. And we had like a placement test that day, and I got put in like the last chair because like I couldn't fucking play anything. And so I remember like everybody was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck? Like why why is that happening? And then like we had like another one like down the road, and I got like second chair, and my buddy got first chair. You remember Daniel? Yeah. So Daniel was first chair, and then I was second chair, and we got yelled at so much because we would just fuck around. Because like he'd be like pissed off at the clarinets for some shit for one day because they'd be like, why the fuck ain't you doing these like 4 bars right? We're gonna do them until you get them. Yeah. And we would just be sitting there just like talking, like making fun of like shit that's going on. We'd be like, hey man, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, this is dumb. This is dumb shit. Like look at these.
That was the best
idiots.
part about band, when they were yelling at someone that wasn't your section, and you're like, put the instrument down, just kind of chill.
Dude, and they would like, because like he would always get mad at us for like talking and shit, he separated us all the time. Like he would always send like Daniel to like the last chair area, but he would be playing a first chair part, right?
So funny.
So we would like constantly be getting thrown around like in the entire place. And I remember one time we got sent down and we were like just totally just shit talking the entire time. We were like, yo, fuck this guy. Like what a piece of shit. Like it's fine, whatever. And I remember like he yelled at these 2 other kids, and he's just like, well, look at Brian and Daniel. Like they've been shining examples of like what discipline can do to somebody. And we were like, what?
What does that mean?
Yeah, dude, it was so
like
funny.
He thought that separating you guys was like worked, and then he was like, oh, look at me.
Yeah. And now we're just like, no, that ain't it.
It's the same. We just can't yell across the fucking room to each other.
I used to just get yelled at all the time just for like existing. Yeah. And I was just like, man, what's wrong with me? And now at 26, realizing that I just like, I have like ADHD and shit like that. I'm like, so many things in my childhood make more sense now
that
that like
this fucking ADHD bubble. Yeah. Like, this all connects.
Yeah. As soon as they were like, yeah, man, that's your thing. And then like the fucking spider web went out, and I was like, the Zach Galifianakis thing where he's like looking at the fucking like numbers. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That's such an interesting thing, like conclusion to come to like later in life, when all of these things that like arguably some of the most pivotal moments of having like ADHD happen to you, and then you realize, like 20 years later, you're like, wait, oh my God. Like, do you think that if you had known whenever these things were happening, like that you had ADHD, that it would be that you wouldn't, I don't know, have been either as hard as on yourself, or you would have been able to rationalize it, or like something would have felt better in some way, or
yes,
or what?
100%.
Yeah.
Like every time I think about it, because it's like the moment you're able to like put a label on something, it's easier to manage, at least mentally, for me specifically.
No, I agree.
Okay, so like, for me, the moment that I was like, like all like I do X, Y, and Z all the time because of whatever reason, was always like so difficult to me, because I was like, why? I feel like I'm the only person that does this, and then like my parents would be like, no, everybody feels that way, and I was just like, I don't know if that's true though. Yeah. And so like now that I'm like at the age where I'm like, oh yeah, that's not fucking normal. Like it makes it easier to kind of understand it. But that's like nice. If that would have happened earlier, like what the difference could have been, like how much, like how many things that I've like been working on for so many years could I have like accomplished sooner,
just by having this understanding of why.
Yeah. Or like in like some way of managing it. Yeah. Because like that was the thing, like the way that I figured it out when I first moved here. Oh, no. When I first moved here, dude, one of my good friends from high school, from band, had moved out here after they had graduated from high school and opened a recording studio. So I had been working with them, making like videos and stuff, like content for them, just kind of hanging out, etc. And they were paying, like they were like paying me, and then I was like, I've always like thought I've had like this kind of a thing, and they were like, oh, I have like an Adderall prescription, and I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, I got diagnosed like a couple years ago, and I've been taking it forever. Do you want to like try it? Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Allegedly.
No. This is not real. This is all made up in my head.
Made up.
And so they would like put it. They would basically like just give me it on top of my pay, and I'd go home. I'd work on something else, like throw one in there and like get
throw
going
one
through
in
it.
there. Yeah. Take an Adderall. Just toss a pill in.
Yeah, no, straight up. I would just be like, go back to work. But it was like, I was so productive in those moments, and like not in like a I need to cram for this exam in college kind of way, but in like I'm not constantly thinking about everything else and like forgetting things immediately, because I'll set something down and forget where I put it for like 3 days. Like I'll just lose something because I don't remember where I put it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's like a normal thing for me. I'll forget things that were like just said to me, so I have to like start. I've had to just start writing things down. If I know it's mildly important, I have to write it down, or I will not remember it in like 2 hours. It'll be gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
And then like I'll jump from thing to thing. So like in writing this story, I've been like writing like one paragraph, and then I'll think of like a completely different thing, and then have to go write that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll lose my mind.
Right.
And lose that. So like I'll go do that, and then I'll come back to the other thing. I'll be like, fuck, I don't remember what I wrote here, and then I'll have to like go back and like look through everything. It sucks. It's really awful.
That's such an interesting way of like. I mean, at least you can like rationalize it now, and it's not. Are you taking Adderall?
No, I have like no prescription for it, but I'm like, I'm to the point where I want to go to a specialist to be like, please give me a prescription.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. That's very That's very interesting. I don't really have a lot of or at least I don't know a lot of people who have ADHD who I like am this close with. So it's very interesting to kind of hear how that works. Like your brain works when you think about
you're just constantly switching lanes all the time.
Does that make you feel more tired?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I'm exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's so I cannot sit down and work on something for more than 10 minutes at a time.
Really? What do you do like when you're done, like, you know, after those 10 minutes?
Like I have to do something else. Like my mind will have completely wandered to something else. I won't be thinking about at all what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to go do something else. So like it's been nice working from home because like at work, dude, if working in an office has been an absolute killer for me.
I bet.
Because like being there and not having something to shift my focus to kills me.
Yeah.
So like I just sit there just like seething because like my mind keeps moving to things.
Yeah.
So like working at home's been nice because like I'll be able to just get up, go like do some dishes, vacuum, just like clean.
Right.
Go sit outside for a little bit, make some coffee or whatever,
and then
go back to it because I have to keep doing that or I just lose my mind. It's wild. But then conversely, when I'm like editing photos or like doing something like that, I can sit down and work on it for 7 hours straight and have no concept of the passage of time.
That's really interesting.
So like,
is it just because like, does it have to do with just the kind of work that you're doing, like versus how much you enjoy it, or like what?
It's either that or I think it's mostly like the enjoyment thing because like hyperfixation is very much like a thing. So it's like when there's something that you're interested in, you are able to like just fully tunnel vision in on it. Yeah. But other than that, like if it's just like other things, I normally am thinking about 4 or 5 other things all the time.
Wild.
So like during a conversation with somebody, completely lose my train of thought. I'll be like in the middle of a sentence and I just won't remember where I came from, won't remember where I was going, and then I'll just be like, I don't know what I gotta do. I have to like tunnel back through the conversation and figure out what it was we were talking about to get me back to what I started talking about in the middle of the sentence and then continue talking about it. Yeah.
You don't seem to have that issue on the pod.
Yeah.
Like, which is very interesting.
Yeah. It's a tunnel vision thing. Because I'm able to like focus on this thing
this
because
is what
I'm
we're
like,
doing. This is
this is the thing that I need to do because this is what I like doing.
Yeah.
And
that's
cool.
Easy. That's cool.
It's a superpower that like has so many drawbacks, dude.
Yeah, sure.
There's so many drawbacks.
Yeah. Pick one good thing, pick 17 bad things out of a hat.
It's like an RPG creation, and I was like a weird bard. That's what the thing was.
ADHD is just being a weird bard.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You can draw somebody else's attention really easily, and then you just zip out of there real fast.
And then you gotta leave.
It's fine.
Damn. That is very interesting to me, truly. Like I honestly think like in another life, if I didn't do computer science / music, I would have loved to study like brain
Dude,
psychology.
I feel that so much.
Yeah.
I took like 3 psych classes in college, and every time I did, I was like, dude, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like, it's just so neat.
Yeah.
Like the way that like brains work and how we like develop things. Yeah.
Human experience,
right.
And the way things shape. It's so fucking cool to me.
I
don't know anything about it. Like I know very little about how the brain works. So it's really interesting to like learn all these different perspectives and
everything that I know has been through like attempting to read like real like articles,
right?
You know, like published things, and I'll get through like the abstract and be like, nah, that's enough.
A lot of big words in here.
Yeah, I was like, I'll go find a rundown somewhere else.
Yeah, just like 10-minute science on YouTube or some shit like that. Yeah,
I follow a like certified psychologist and stuff on YouTube, and she makes a whole bunch of videos that like explain like disorders and like talking about different things, and then she like talks about like techniques that like she's developed with like her clients to like help people manage with like certain things, obviously you know, all confidential and whatnot. But it was super cool because I was like, wow, this is neat. Like just like a quick like 15-minute video of someone like explaining like a certain disorder. I was like, wow, this is neat. I love this. I get it now.
Wow, that's fucking cool. What do you know what the channel's called?
It's just her name. I think her name is like Katie Morton, something like that. I don't know. She's just such like a kind human being that just like talks about brain shit.
That's fucking cool.
It's neat.
I'm gonna look her up.
Yeah, dude. Look her up, everybody. Leave in the comments what you have learned about the human brain from their videos.
We're gonna finish it off with the good old relationship advice for you guys. This the title of this post: 39 female. My 39 female boyfriend, 41 male, quit his job to become a professional wrestler. How can I get through to him that is a bad idea? Let's fucking go. We both work full-time, but we don't make a lot of money from our jobs. We do make above minimum wage, and both our checks are necessary to pay the bills. He's also very obsessed with wrestling. For some backstory, he watches it multiple times a week and often goes to the independent shows around us. He blows a lot of money on crap, like buying actual gear the wrestlers wore in the ring. We also have 2 kids, 17 and 7. His boss called the house one day. Oh, his boss called the house today. He asked me if my boyfriend was okay, and that he suddenly quit. I told him I had no idea what was going on. He got home. I asked why he quit. He sat the family down and said he was pursuing a childhood dream. He was going to train to become a professional wrestler and was quitting to pursue that. I asked how we'd pay for that, and he said we could take it out of the savings account. I asked about bills, and he said we'll have to cut back, maybe get cheaper plans on the internet and cancel Netflix and buy generic brand groceries.
That's not a whole lot of money saved there, man.
It's really not. That's not a lot of money.
Really
saved.
not.
It's like an extra maybe $50 a month.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah? Thanks for the input.
I don't know what to do. He's in his 40s and isn't even really much of an athlete. He's on the husky side, and he's only 5'8".
Bro, she fucking came for his ass.
Him.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
What's it like getting dragged behind a Jeep, my guy?
I guess it wasn't enough to watch this crap every week. Now he wants to be in the show. I tried telling him this, and he brought up how many wrestlers got started when they were older, and a lot of wrestlers have been overweight. I tried telling him to at least work part-time, but he said it takes dedication, and he's sick of working like a dog all day. Quote, it's time to do something for myself. I'm pretty sure he's having a midlife crisis. I don't know what to even do about this. How can I get through to him? And how do I let him know we can't afford to go through with this and that he's not built for wrestling?
Okay, to be fair, 5'8" is pretty small for a wrestler.
Yeah.
But, who cares?
There's some like short, stocky wrestlers. It helps to be like stocky and like, you know, kind of low center of gravity.
Right. I like that this is what I started with in my unpacking of this story.
First of all, 5'8's not that short, okay?
I'm over 6 feet, please. Come on now. But like, I feel like bro, you just up and quit without saying anything to anybody beforehand?
Imagine.
Insane.
The audacity. I can't imagine, like, I don't know. Isn't wrestling like, well, I guess, I don't know if he's talking, what kind of wrestling is he talking, you know? Like, you think he's talking like, like on the mat type deal?
No, like Dave Bautista.
Like
John Cena kind of shit.
Like that kind of shit?
That is for sure what it is, dude.
What the
There's no way he wants to do Olympic wrestling.
Right.
Because 5'8" would be fucking great for an Olympic wrestler. Yeah, he'd crush that.
Yeah.
But, bro.
No, you're going to be going out there with, like, people who are just...
Like luchadors?
Massive, like, pure muscle and, like...
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it is all, like, scripted and fake.
Yeah,
so, like, whatever. Like, you just need to learn how to act, my guy.
Take some acting classes.
But, like, man, that is a rough thing to just up and quit your job for.
I can't think of...
Excuse me.
Was that a burp? Or were you
that was. I had to think about that. Well, I don't know if you saw the gears turning while I was talking. Because I was like, did I just burp? What the fuck? That was weird. Like, snuck out of there.
It seems like a weird thing to... I don't even know... I feel like I'm a pretty savvy person, but I don't even know where I would go to start learning about wrestling or, like, entering wrestling. Maybe it's just because I'm not, like, involved in the wrestling world at all, but, like, where... like, what do? You go to like a gym and just be like, hey, do you have wrestling Do you wrestle?
Hey, do you have a professional wrestling coach?
Like, what do you do?
And they're like, oh yeah, like they're over there in the ring. You might want to like give him a second. He's still working with like the gold medalist from last year. Oh no, not that.
Sorry, I'm talking like
this. And he like pulls out like a mask.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think you want to go down the street.
Yeah, I think you want to go to the acting school on the corner. What the like?
Could you imagine like rolling into an acting class as like a very large person, and everyone's like, I want to work in like the stage, like I want to be in the theater, and you have people being like, oh, I want to make prestige like independent movies, and then you're just like, I want to be a professional wrestler.
I want to fall on the ground and learn how to not hurt myself, and also smack them with a chair.
I want to throw somebody onto a table from the top bars of the ring. That is my goal, that is my dream, and that is my passion.
What do you think about that? Can you teach me, sir? Dude,
Sir, do you know what a comma is? First off.
Take off all of those ands. Take out all of those.
That run-on sentence will not get you far here, man.
Oh my god. I mean, like, where do you begin?
Well, I mean, like, he goes to independent shows, right?
I guess.
So,
maybe
like,
you just talk to those people?
Yeah, like, you just, like, roll on up to some dude who just got their ass kicked in a fucking VFW hall, and you're just like, hey, man, how do I do this?
How do you do that? Will you take me under your wing? I don't know.
Will you also kick my ass in the VFW hall?
I want to know what it feels like.
I just envision all, like, independent, like, local wrestling associations are like going to a fucking punk rock show as like a 14-year-old.
Yes.
Like, you just show up 100%. To like an empty room, and it's just like a bunch of degenerates hurting each other.
It's like 5 dudes. They're in, it's like an old bar or like a pool hall or like a veterans memorial.
Pool hall. There's just some fucking dude named Scooter just like just shooting the 8-ball with a couple of dudes in like biker cuts, and then there's just some dudes in masks getting the shit kicked out of each other.
That's what it's. I mean, like. That's so funny. It's like, it's truly like going to like an independent underground show with like not a big fan base.
Welcome everybody to the Exit 128 Wendy's for this week's show.
The drive-thru is still open if you're hungry, but the inside of the restaurant closes at 8 p.m. and so that's why
get your orders in now, or else you will be hungry all night.
All right, up first we have Mr. Wendy himself.
It's just a bunch of like fucking mascots just beating the shit out of each other.
I would pay good money to see that
dude.
Shit,
that'd be so funny.
Oh, man.
There's a whole. Have you seen The Righteous Gemstones on HBO?
I'm almost done with the first season.
Okay, hell yeah. So season 2, we learn like some information that involves like independent, local, like professional wrestling.
Oh, let's fucking go.
And it's honestly fucking great.
Dude,
it's so
such a good show.
Funny.
I started it 3 days ago, and
dude,
I'm just binging the fuck out of it. It's hilarious.
It blows my mind how Danny McBride is able to like write all of the things that he does and then still also act in them.
He wrote that?
Yeah, that's his show.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
And he's rolling off of the Halloween trilogy because he wrote all 3 of the new Halloweens. Danny McBride. Wait,
that's that Danny McBride?
That's that Danny McBride.
Stop.
That fucking guy.
I always saw that name. I'm like, damn, it's just like a weird coincidence.
Yeah,
no, it's the
that's
comedy
him.
Danny McBride.
That is him. He wrote an incredible like Halloween trilogy. The 3rd one's probably going to come out like another year or so. But
that's
dude,
wild.
Yeah, but like that. Think about it though. Like comedy and horror, like kind of sit on the same beats.
That's true,
right?
You're
like
right.
you have a build up to a payoff, constantly. So that's kind of like the whole thing, and that's how like Jordan Peele was able to transition pretty hard.
You're right.
Because like originally he wrote Get Out as a
comedy,
comedy, and I'm assuming what the conversation was like, hey man, why don't you try it in like this kind of a way?
Mm-hmm.
And he did it, and they were like, fuck, this is great, let's do this.
That's
the way that I'm assuming.
I would imagine.
So like it's kind of cool to see comedians kind of bridge into the like horror thing, because like there's a lot of people who write horror that are like horror nuts.
Right.
Like they're like, I understand this genre to like every nuance, and they write it really well.
Right.
But like getting that weird perspective of like a
that's
comedian
what pushes
into
it over the edge, I think. Yeah.
Like there's some great jokes in Halloween, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But like the build-ups and the payoffs are wonderful.
That's so interesting.
And that guy wrote that
is talented.
Yeah, super fun. Like just so good.
It's
that
so interesting how you think like people like that and like Will Smith or whatever, like, you know, not the conventionally like hot actors that are like all into whatever roles, like those people like get in their start in the first place. It's very interesting to think about.
Yeah,
that's cool.
A lot of those people started as acting was a boost for their music careers, and then just shifted.
Wow,
Wild, man. But anyways, back to the advice. Bro, don't do that.
Don't do that. That's all I have to say. I don't really know. I mean, I think, feel for this wife. I don't know how you have a conversation like that with your husband. It's kind of tough to hear.
Yeah.
Probably.
I feel, especially like not having like talked to them beforehand,
right?
Like just making that decision,
that's
like
tough.
And just dropping that on the whole family. That's kind of shitty. Like that's a really shitty thing to do, especially like you have children,
right?
Like you're
one of them's. I mean, in theory, going to go to college next year,
and like yes, like your life still is very important, and like you need to do the things that make you happy. But it's like you have a lot more responsibility at that point, where it's like very irresponsible for you to kind of like jeopardize that to do that.
Right.
So like her thing where it's like work part-time, do this thing, hell yeah.
Right. That's a compromise.
Yeah, that's
her being like, I'll support it, but come meet me halfway. And if he's not going to meet you halfway, that's tough.
Yeah. And like I believe in runways. Like I think that like if you can support yourself for X amount of time, you can take that time to go do whatever the fuck you want to do. But like you have to be prepared for at the end of your runway, whether you're either taking off or you're crashing.
Right.
That like it's one or the other. Like you got to make a decision there.
That's
so
an
it's like
way to think about
if they had enough in their savings that they were comfortable burning for like however many months that they would be able to do it, hell yeah, go for it. But that is again a conversation you have with your significant other. That's a weird thing to just do.
That's a weird thing to drop, regardless of whether you talk to your partner at first or not. That's a weird thing to just be like, I'm gonna wrestle. Yeah,
like hey, it'd be weird too if it was like, hey, I'm gonna quit my job so that I can go back to school.
Right.
Like that's still like that's kind of a conversation you still need to have.
Yeah, that's like a whole. That's not just like a decision that you can make. Like you don't have the luxury of making those decisions without consulting other people first.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point in your life.
Yeah, having never gone through a midlife or a crisis, what are your opinions on the midlife crisis?
Like, what,
like do you think that's like a thing? Like, is it a phenomena?
I think
like, do you hit a point and you just like break and you're like, fuck, I got to do something.
I could see that. Yeah. I could see it being like
happens to me like once a week. So yeah, I get it.
Like I could totally see it being like whether it's I mean it doesn't happen to everyone, I'm sure, but I can see like someone who maybe just wakes up one day and feels like they're like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know, a lot of people, I'd say the majority of people are not 100% satisfied in their job. I feel like a lot of people aren't even like, you know, just tolerate their job. And I can just imagine waking up and being like, fuck, I've been doing this for 30 years. What the fuck does the roadmap ahead look like? And just feeling like you need to do something. 100%, I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Not hard to believe at all. That's crazy.
I feel like it's got like a very negative stigma to it because they're always like, oh, like they're doing all this stuff because it's kind of dumb, but it's like, but like, yeah, dude, like that's a hard thing to like cope with.
Yeah.
So like if that's where he's at in his life, my guy needs to probably save that money that he would spend on professional wrestling, and then go to a therapist for a little bit.
Use that for therapy.
Yeah. And then save up some money and do the professional wrestling thing on the side.
Exactly.
Once one overtakes the other, bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
You're in.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's what we would do. Not that we ever come close to these sorts of issues in our own lives, but
and we are not licensed therapists or advice givers.
No.
We are two dudes.
We're two dudes who have a belly full of pizza.
Oh, God, we do.
An intestine full of gurgles right now.
And a heart full of love.
Heart full of love.
One.
We both share
You have to pick which one.
Yeah. We both share half of a heart. Actually, at birth, we were separated, and the doctors were like, they're not going to live. And they're like, no, split the heart in half. They're like, it's never been done before. No, split it in half.
The left ventricle they just turned into like a heart. The right ventricle they just turned into a heart.
Exactly.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. We share the same heart, so we feel each other's feels very
all
hard.
the time.
And whenever I run, Brian is out of breath for no reason.
That explains a lot.
That's why you just be like working.
Dude, every time I walk from the office to the kitchen, I'm like, holy shit.
Why am I out of breath?
I have like a heart palpitation. Yeah. God, that makes so much sense.
Playing tennis right now.
God,
that fucking idiot.
I'll just text you. Just be like, yo, you playing tennis right now?
Like,
yeah, man.
Fuck. That explains it. I gotta lie down.
I'll lay down for a little bit. Okay. Megan, can you give me some water? Nick's running.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of the Lunchtime Serenade podcast. We love you all. We cherish you all. And we will see you guys next time. Middle of the day. Middle of the week. Peace.